to the next edition of 100 Cups of Coffee. I'm here today with Christine Richards of Christine Richards Therapies. Christine has come to talk to us about, or come to talk to me about, her business and all the things that she does. So Christine, perhaps let the good people that are listening to us know, what do you do?
Oh goodness, there's lots of different things really. Let's just sort of add it through. So I work mainly with menopausal ladies, so sort of hormonal issues, I suppose you might call it, because you know, in the past I've worked a lot with fertility, pregnancy, and now I've moved on sort of through to the menopause as such as well. So but I use sort of different modalities to do that. So I've got the reflexology, which I can use with them, energy alignment, nutrition package, which includes sort of supplements as well. And then there's things like Indian head massage and also my yoga as well, which I take.
Mix.
Yes, so there's lots of different things which suits a lot of people, and I often find that sort of it's not just one thing that will make a difference to people, but once you add in different things, it's just bringing in things that will help in different areas.
Everybody's different, aren't they? Yeah,
exactly.
And one thing may work for somebody else, and somebody
right.
else may need a combination of different treatments to help them. Yeah,
definitely. So
and it's menopause is your main focus.
That's
for
the
your
main
treatment?
focus. Yes, it is at the moment.
And is there a backstory behind that? Is there a reason why we focus on? We generally do. We go into business to support people through challenges that we've experienced ourselves, don't we?
I know, that's right, definitely. So and you know, I started off with the hormonal issues because basically a lot of people were coming to me that wanted sort of fertility treatment, not fertility treatment as such, but they wanted a lot of reflexology. So I've been doing this for like over 20 years, I suppose, I think now, with the time just disappears.
It does, doesn't it?
So, you know, and to start with, people were coming to me saying, oh, I'm really trying for a baby, and, you know, it's not happening for me and everything. And so I went and did some training in that and everything, and so I worked a lot with fertility for couples, and it was mainly the women that used to come to me, the ladies, but it's always a good thing if you can get both partners together, because it's not always just the woman that has the problems. Quite often it can be the man. And so by working with both of them, you know, you can get all the hormones in balance, and everything, and so I had a lot of success with that, shall we say. And then I started myself coming up to the menopause, so in that perimenopausal period, and it was just like all these symptoms just completely hit me, just took me completely by surprise. And they got so bad, and it was almost like, I'm not old enough for that. I'm really not old enough. And
we think it's kind of women of around 50, don't we? But it can happen so much younger. My nan actually went through menopause when she was 38. So very young.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, but it's
and I've been praying since I was about 38. So can we get over this now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so I ended up with some really bad, symptoms as such, and there were a lot of them as well. And I kept thinking, I really ought to be able to sort myself out, because I know all these different things, and I used a lot of the stress to reduce the stress and everything. Although I was quite on the go all the time, I didn't really take much time out to help me, but I also have a son with special needs, so that took a lot of my efforts as well. And but it was really the digestive issues that I had a problem with, and I actually went to the GP in the end, because I just couldn't sort myself out. I was just putting on weight at I think it was about 1 kilo every month.
Wow.
And it was really piling on, and I wasn't eating anything different to normal, I was doing the same amount as exercise, which sometimes was quite a bit and sometimes wasn't anything at all. But that was just normal for me. And but I was still piling on the pounds, and I got to the stage when I started bloating up. I started cutting things out of my diet, started bloating, going to bed in pain every night, and I couldn't eat. I could hardly eat anything. And I thought, so anyway, so I went to the GP, tests, normal, sort of went on the FODMAP diet, which was okay when I cut out the foods, but as soon as I started adding them back in again, I started getting all the issues again. And then a friend, a kinesiologist friend of mine, she suggested that I looked into gut health because she just started doing this, and I sort of looked into that and started researching a lot further, and I suddenly realised I think I've got the key here. And then so I do a lot of stuff with gut health as well, because that's actually what put me right in the end.
It's funny,
and
isn't it? More
all
and
the symptoms
more,
disappeared.
yeah, more and
It's
more people
amazing.
are talking about this now, how it's what we put in that has a huge effect on our overall health and wellness.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this was over 10 years ago, so of course this like gut health is only just coming into the front of things.
So you were ahead of the curve on this.
Exactly, and very few people actually knew what the microbiome was and what good gut health was, because everybody's thinking, oh, gut health, that's just to do with digestive issues or something. But no, it has so much effect on the hormones, on the whole of your body, immunity, absolutely everything. And once you get all that in balance, it's amazing how symptoms just disappear. And it's amazing. So and that is really why I decided to sort of change tack a little bit. And I mean, I still work with ladies and couples with fertility, but my main focus is the menopause. And that's
and
that's
you
why.
also do the yoga as well, which again helps with the whole stress levels, doesn't it? And bringing everything back into centre.
Yes. That's right. So you've got the whole it's the whole mind, body, soul bit, and you've got the flexibility, and you don't have to be flexible, don't get me wrong, but it helps with flexibility as you work through with yoga and strength, and it actually helps us as we age, because it helps to prevent the trips and the falls and things, because you're keeping all your muscles and you're strong, and your bones
which
and
is
joints
so
and
important
everything.
as we get older, because when we hit, is it 30 or 40? 30 I think it is, isn't it? Once we get into our 30s, our muscle mass starts to decrease, and our bone density starts to become affected, so we need to be doing these kind of strength based exercises that you get with yoga.
That's right.
You don't have to go to the gym and lift those heavy weights. Yoga's just as good, I think, and in more ways than one, because it's a mind thing as well for us. It's not just about the physical movements and poses that we do in yoga. It's about those different the mental side of it as well.
That's right, definitely. So there's a lot of breathing techniques that you can use for different things, just to calm everything down, or sort of increase everything, and it's just an amazing practice, really. It helps the whole body, and it doesn't matter whether you're this height or you're like hair and like 80 or 90. You can still do yoga, and I've trained in the menopause yoga or meno yoga. I do chair yoga as well for ladies as well.
Meno yoga.
That's
a new one on me.
It was almost like I didn't know whether to call it yoga for menopause, because it was just all meno yoga, because it cuts out it's not an inclusive you know, title.
So you're
I
missing
suppose.
people, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's called, I've called it now Flex and Balance Fab Yoga. So I just thought, change this,
because it doesn't matter, anybody can do it. It's not just women in the, you know, who are in those menopause years.
And I'd also put on there that, like, anyone from like 35 to, you know, whatever age, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome. And so I thought, no, just keep that, you know, I know what it's meant for, you know, who it is for, but, and you do find your tribe. People come to you, and you don't gel with everybody.
No, and there's no point, you know, you don't want everybody either. You want the people that are meant to be there for you.
Right.
You need to find, as you say, your tribe.
That's right, yeah. So
I know you also have a much bigger vision, don't you? Do you want to talk about that?
Oh my goodness, yes. It's quite a big vision, really.
It's a big vision.
It's what should we call it? Live with Love is a holistic healing hub, and it's mainly for carers, families, and those with autism and additional needs, where they can come in. We give them the tools, different learning abilities, to be able to live life sort of fuller, more vibrant, I suppose, life basically in nature. So we're looking to do this on sort of fields, farmland, something like that.
So out in nature.
Out in nature,
yeah,
definitely.
I like the sound of this.
I know, and you know, people can come in. It's like a community feel. So you know, you've got all these healing modalities. So we've had the yoga. We'll have, you know, Tai Chi or Qigong, reflexology and hair massage, different massages, you know, maybe beauty and, you know, hair and beauty. It's all combined to, you know, keep your vibration high. And
I love this.
I know. And then there'll also be part where people can get their hands in the mud and sort of learn how to grow sort of vegetables, fruits, you know, all these different things, and also how to look after the animals, you know, be with animals. So you don't necessarily have to want to, you know, clean them out or, you know, look after them, but you can just come in and be with them, because
it's therapy in itself, isn't it?
It is, totally. So, you know, a whole range of different animals, and, you know, and
do you have somewhere for this?
We don't yet. No.
Okay. So anybody who's listening here who perhaps has a very suitable place for this to take, you know, to accommodate this, you'd love to hear from them.
We would. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. And anybody else? What other support are you getting? Because this sounds like a huge project. There's going to be other people that you'll probably want to connect with for that. So.
Yeah, that's right. One of my friends, actually, I met her only a couple of years, 2-3 years ago, and when we got together, we put our visions together, and she had hers written down and I had mine drawn out, and we looked at each other and we thought, that is identical, or virtually identical. Wow. And it was like, how often do you just meet somebody out of the blue where you're, you know, and you just we just gelled, you know. So her name's Peter, and it's really good.
So these plans are moving forward together.
They are, yeah,
wow.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
So, you know, it would be just, you know, and of course, you know, we're looking for other people that would like to come in and join us as well. So, you know, to collaborate.
Do you have specific people in mind that you're looking for to collaborate with?
Well, other therapists, obviously, you know, healing practitioners, sort of hair beauty, I suppose. Also, people that know how to work with their hands, so like forest school and, you know, type skills, living skills, teachers, I suppose, and people that work on the land as well, sort of maybe the farmers and, you know, or
so
you know, smallholders,
for all
types
of
people as well. Yes, so, you know, and that's why I think it's like, oh goodness, it's just so big, and it's very hard to get distracted to, you know, think, oh, we'll work with this. No, just we need a good plan and know where we're going with this. So yeah.
Fantastic. That sounds good. Do you have a timeline for this, or?
Well, we're actually sort of trying to get things in place right now. So ideally, we would like to get moving with this, this year by, and latest next year. We want to be open. We work, one-to-one with people or in little groups. We can do this online. Certain, like I'd have my menopause, programs as well, and there's little things that you can do, and sort of hiring village halls and things like that we can take groups through and doing different things. But ideally, we want to be out on the land and sort of helping people in that way, and getting things growing, and and looking after the animals. So
It sounds amazing. There's actually somewhere not far from here, I don't know if in Ferring, I don't know if you've heard of it.
The country centre.
Yeah. I think they have a similar thing, certainly with the animals. I don't know if they do the growing of the food as well, but
they do.
But maybe it's
small.
gives you certainly somewhere to go to, perhaps for a bit of inspiration and see how their journey, how they brought it all together.
That's really true. Yes, because I keep coming up. People say, "Oh, have you heard of this place?" And it's like, "Oh no, I didn't know that. It's here." So it's really interesting to be able to go and have a chat with these, with them and see how they started, because there's always pitfalls, when you start something new, and
there's so much you don't know, and it's only by talking and being open to what's being given to you, and asking the right questions that you get to find out about these things.
And of course you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it.
Exactly. So until you find out you don't know it.
That's right.
And hopefully you find out before it's too late.
I know, that's right, definitely.
Oh, so if we I don't think we've done the yoga, we've done your vision, we've covered reflexology, your online coaching. You do some online coaching too. Yes,
the menopause programs. So I have a 12-week program. I was going to say 12-month program there, but it's a bit long. 12-week program, and then there's a 6-week program, and basically they cover I take people through nutrition, sort of adding on some supplements to help with the gut health and microbiome, and working with the gut health so that we can naturally sort of balance hormones, I suppose, and I do work with people. It's not just like anybody that doesn't want to be on HRT, because some people can't be on HRT, but it's to help those people that either don't want to be or they can't be on HRT mainly. You can obviously work. There
seems to be a bigger movement now as well for people not to go down those chemical routes.
That's right. So it's always good if you can to work with your own hormones, rather than adding extra in as such.
Yes, absolutely. So, and I guess the things, if you're growing things, this all will feed into your programs as well.
Yes, it does.
So there is a link to everything. Everything links to it all together.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So and it's all about the stress relief as well, because when you can reduce the stress levels, that also helps the hormones to come back out into balance again. And with menopause, it's not necessarily that you need more hormones. It's the hormones coming out of balance, but it's because that you don't need so many hormones, because they tend to go back to prepubescent levels. So by adding in extra hormones, you actually don't really need them. And there's so much more you can do to strengthen, keep your bones strong, to reduce the stress levels, to keep your hormones in balance, and once that happens, it's just like you just get this new vibrant you, I suppose.
I'm seeing it right in front of me. It's clearly doing something very good for you.
It's amazing.
So do you have any messages for anybody? And if anybody knows anybody that might like to collaborate with you, how do they find you?
Well, my website is Christine Richards Therapies, so that's you can find that www.crtherapies.co.uk. My email is info@crtherapies.co.uk, and you can also, there's my telephone number on there as well, I think. I'm sure it is.
And it's all going to be in the business directory as well. So that's all going to be,
that's brilliant. So you can find me on business directory. It might be easier than trying to remember all that.
Yeah, definitely. And wherever we post this video, we'll put all of those links, all that information underneath for you as well.
Lovely.
So we'll make sure that people know exactly where to find you.
That's lovely, thank you.
No, you're very welcome. So can I ask you, just before we wrap this up, you know, what made you decide to join the Not Networking Plus?
Oh goodness, I find networking quite challenging. One-to-one is fine. Get into a room full of people, it's like, oh my goodness. You know, so I just thought this was so much sort of less formal. It just seems sort of more me, I think. So that's what we're literally our ideal member in the community is we look at, you know, we are there to support the people that find networking a little bit more challenging. And then we, you know, in the Networking Plus, we look at ways that you can really improve the way you network, so that you make the most of the connections that you make through networking. So there'll be lots of tips coming into there as well. So, well, thank you for joining anyway, and for joining me this afternoon in our 100 Cups of Coffee series. Oh, thanks, Gina.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure.